Everyone wants to take a beautiful photo, but if you want to go further, you need a different approach. Today, everyone takes photos. We all have a smartphone in our pocket, we take pictures constantly, and almost every time we do, there's only one goal: to take a beautiful photo. It's normal, it's human, it's the basic level of photography. A beautiful photo is pleasing, a beautiful photo is satisfying, and if things go well, a beautiful photo even gets a few likes. And that's fine, this is the starting point. But if you feel that photography can be something more, if you want to practice it as an art form, if you want to use it to create well-being, if you want to become a professional, you need to make images that are useful, that leave a mark, that don't just serve as decoration. So you need to know something important. Aiming to take a beautiful photo is too simple a goal to create something meaningful. The limitation of likes as a goal. The problem isn't wanting to take a beautiful photo, the problem is making beauty your primary goal. When you immediately seek beauty, you follow what has already been liked. You stay within familiar patterns. You work by reaction, not by choice. Most people choose what they recognize, not what opens up new possibilities. Average taste tends to confirm the past, not anticipate the future. If you want to go beyond the basic level, you need to change the question. The first real question should be, what is this photo for? And this is where the first GMASTERMIND tool comes into play. Even before taking the shot, before thinking whether it will be beautiful or ugly, whether people will like it or not, you need to assign a purpose to the photograph. To do this, in GMastermind we use the 5 value metrics, which are specifically designed for this purpose, to understand why you are taking a photo. Every photograph can have one or more of these purposes: to attract attention, to catch the eye, so visual impact, or emotional value, to make someone feel something, to create emotional engagement, or communicative value, to convey a clear message, or artistic value, introducing novelty and essentiality, or economic value, creating immediate work value, so an economic return, or a return that comes later over time. These 5 metrics are not meant to judge whether a photo is good or bad, they serve to provide direction. A photograph without a purpose is just an image. A photograph with a purpose becomes a creative act. First, we need to understand if it works. Once the purpose is defined, the second fundamental tool comes into play, the visual gem flow. At this point, we're still not asking, do you like it? Here, we observe how a photograph works on the viewer, which could be me or someone else, another person or another spectator. The visual gem flow guides us through 7 steps. 1. The entry point for the gaze. 2. The path the gaze takes. 3. The connections between the elements. 4. The balance or the dynamics. 5. The exit point of the gaze. 6. The initial emotion. And 7. The final emotional resonance. This analysis is not subjective, it is experiential. If the gaze doesn't follow a direction, if the message doesn't come through, if the emotion isn't triggered, the photograph doesn't work, even if it's beautiful. Only after that does beauty come into play. At this point, and only at this point, beauty becomes important. When a photograph has a clear purpose, and therefore meets the metrics, works in terms of gaze and feeling according to the visual gem flow, then you can also work to understand whether, the harmony, the shapes, the balance, the visual pleasure, whether it is liked or not, whether it is considered beautiful or ugly. Here, beauty is no longer naive, it is awareness. And you're not trying to please everyone. You're trying to appeal to your target audience without betraying the original purpose of the photo. The like as a social tool. And this is where the social value of the like comes into play. Because the like is not a measure of the photo's objective intrinsic value, it's a social phenomenon. Robert Cialdini demonstrated how social proof influences judgment. We tend to appreciate what we see appreciated by others. This isn't a mistake, it's a lever. But once again, order is fundamental. First, the photograph has to work, then the like can amplify its relevance, from a few to many. Images that truly work often aren't immediately liked by everyone. Sometimes they're not immediately understood and are first liked by only a few. Those few are crucial because they become the first core of recognition. Over time, the social value of a like makes the image more readable, influences others, sways them, and leads what works to be shared. This way, you go beyond the simple like, the order that changes the way you photograph. If you take photos just to make a beautiful picture, you're at the basic level, legitimate, common. If you want to go further, the order changes. 1. Define the purpose using the GMasterMind metrics. 2. Build a photograph that works. 3. Check its effectiveness with the visual gem flow. 4. Refine the beauty for your target audience. 5. Use the like as a social lever, not as a guide. This is the shift from reaction to choice, from image to value. In conclusion, we all want to take a beautiful photo. It's normal. But if you want to create something useful, something that communicates, that leaves a mark, beauty can't be the primary goal. Function comes first, then as it should, beauty and pleasure follow. This way, photography stops being just beautiful and becomes relevant. This is going beyond the like. This is photographing with direction.